Hello my friends, welcome to Pro Arm Strings. I'm Henriette and today is day 34 of the Virtual Violin Practice Playalong. It's so good to see you here, and today we are going to learn a new bow stroke called Sautier Bowing. We've learned to play legato bowing and we've learned to play various different staccato bowings such as spiccato and martelé, and today is our third new staccato type bowing called Sautier. We're also going to continue with our improvisation later on in this lesson, so stay till the end to develop your improvisation into an even more sophisticated way of playing. So let's go ahead and let's get started. We're going to start today by tuning up. Here is your A. Here is your E string. Your D string. And here is G. And strings together. Lovely. So today we're going to start with Sautier bowing, and I'll show you what Sautier bowing is. It's a fast bow stroke and you play it at the point where the hair is closest to the stick. So I'm going to play it on the D string. Is where you allow the bow to jump off the string because you manipulate it quite firmly. Now I'll show you how to get it started if you've never learnt it before. So let's put your bow and your violin away. And the key ingredient of a Sautier bow stroke is when you shake your hand vertically like this. So pretend you've got a little cobweb on your hand and you shake it off. You think, ah, this is horrible, and you shake it off like that, or some slime or something, and you shake it off your hand like that. And it's this shaking movement that is going to manipulate the bow. So that feeling of throwing your wrist like that is what we need. So let's pick up your bow now and your violin. And now you're going to pretend to do lots of little ones like that. And you're going to have a look at your bow first to see where the point is, where the hair and the stick are the closest. On my bow, but it varies from one bow to the next, it is roughly in the middle. Now we're going to go on the D string simply because your hand is more flat like that. It's very hard to do, and like this it's more at an angle. So on the D string it is the best, I think. And now you're just going to shake it, lots of very short bow strokes, and shaking it quite hard, and then suddenly at some point you feel that the bow is going to give you an upwards movement, so it starts to jump up by itself. And once that happens, and you'll feel what I mean in a second, once that happens the trick is to allow it to start to jump. So you want to take all your pressure off your fingers but keep shaking your wrist. Okay, here we go. interfere with your bow, and the more you allow the bow to jump, the better a result you have. Now, quite a lot of the time with Sautier, you want to have a little run up to it. So keep it going, and suddenly you get just the right amount of throw, shall we call it, into the string. So let's practice that again. Shall we? Find your best spot where it jumped the best the previous time, and off you go. Now this is what you want to practice time and time again, because you want to try and find out how hard to shake your hand, exactly which place on the bow, and also how loose your bow hand should be to get the best Sautier, you see. And that is different because each person's muscle tone is different, so you'll shake it slightly differently. Each person's bow is slightly different in flexibility, and the power with which you shake your hand is different as well, isn't it? So I cannot say to you so much, use this amount of power, use this amount, or use this or go on this position on the bow, because it is slightly different for everyone. And you've got to have a super relaxed bow hold to be able to do it. So perhaps you've noticed as well that I'm rounding my thumb a little bit so that it's perhaps not as bent and slightly further through the bow, simply so that I can let the bow do its job. And I'm taking I think quite a few fingers off, because I don't want them to interfere with the bow hold at all. So you get this weird discrepancy by trying to control the bow without controlling it. Shall we try it again? Here we go. Short, sharp staccato notes, and that's what we're after. Now, you notice that I keep it going for quite a while, and I want you to do that as well, simply to get the feel for it. And today it doesn't have to be by all means a finished and polished Sautier, but again, this is one of such techniques that you've now started getting to grips with, and over time that will develop. Now, you want to now give your wrist a really good sort of circle round that way, because this is hard on the wrist, and I would suggest that if you get any sort of pain in your wrist, or if you feel tired in your wrist, to come off this, because this is really hard work on the wrist, and it's not a movement that I can think of what you do every day, apart from just shaking off that cobweb or slime if you have something dirty on your hand. Okay, so we'll come back to this in future lessons as well. Let's now continue and do some vibrato practice. And we're going to keep our bow in our hands today, and we're going to go on the A string again, and starting with your easiest finger. So let's give it a good shake. Make sure that your knuckles are level with the strings, and that your wrist is straight. And we're going to slide it like this. Pop your super glue on, and then when you're ready, see if you can put your bow to it. And that is the result that I want you to have today. So please try to slow it down, and please don't go like this, because suddenly your hand might go into a spasm, and we don't want that. We want control rather than spasm, you see. So this vibrato practice starts with perhaps not the most pleasant of sounds, but this is just to make sure that you're playing your vibrato slowly enough. So let's practice the same finger again. Slide, pop your super glue on, and put your bow to it. Lovely. So quite a lot of people will be going like this. Okay, because now you need to split in your head that your bow is going to go and play longer bows and your left hand is going to do shorter wobbles. So that's why we're starting on our easiest finger today. Let's do it again, but this time with a different finger. So slide along the string first of all, make sure your position is right. Your knuckles are level with the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop your finger on, pop your super glue on. If it slides like that, allow it to happen. It doesn't matter. I'd much rather this was more relaxed than a more tight vibrato or slide, you see. So let it happen if it wants to slide. It's okay. Let's now try a different finger. So slide along the string, pop your super glue on, and then add your bow if you can. Awesome. So you do just a few wobbles today, and that's absolutely fine. Just see how that works, because it is a strange transition in your head putting that bow to it. Fourth finger. Here we go. Slide it. Make sure your position is correct, and then pop your super glue on. Once you're happy, add your bow. That is really good progress. Well done. Shake your knees. Make sure that there's no tension in your knees there. Good. What often happens is that because this is difficult for the brain to grasp, you get sort of other tensions in either your bow hand is very stiff, or your shoulders come up, or you grit your teeth, or you put tension in your legs. And I want you just to think and be aware of where the parts of your body are, that they are all really as relaxed as you can possibly do it. All right, now I'll let you practice that in your own time as well, but we'll come back to this many, many times still. So today is a bit of a challenge, isn't it? Because now we're going to practice our string crossings again, like we did it yesterday. And I will do that for you so you can recall what we're on about. Use your elbow to cross strings from G to D. And your wrist. And your elbow. Elbow. Wrist. Elbow. So I sometimes sing this. Elbow, wrist, and elbow. So you can sing it with me like that, if you find that easier. So do it slowly, section by section. So we're starting on the G string, half a bow on G, then slur onto D, and you're making that really nice semicircle with your elbow. And now clockwise wrist circles, B and D. Go back on B, and now use your elbow to go from B to D. Whoa! And do that again. Wrist. Now, it may be that you're still super confused, and I can understand that, and that's okay. When you're confused and you can't quite follow it, it means this is new to you, and that may well be new for many, many people. Now that takes a while to settle in and to make the brain understand exactly what's happening. So it's okay to feel a little bit confused. Let's just go over it one more time. So from G to D, I'm using my elbow and I'm doing my elbow string crossings like that. Then when I'm going to play from B to D, I'm doing clockwise circles with my wrist until I've hit the B again, and then I'm going from B to D with my elbow. So my elbow does this, starts G to D, semicircle. Then my elbow doesn't do anything because I'm staying in the same position, and then I'm going to do my string crossings with my wrist until I've hit the B again, and then I'm going to go back with my elbow. Shall we do it one more time? Starting on G. Here comes your elbow first. Now wrist. Back on B, and now use your elbow. Elbow. Use your wrist. Clockwise. Back on B, and now use your elbow again. Last time. G, elbow, wrist, elbow. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to play a G major scale in preparation for our improvisations, and we're going back to our heavy legato bowing. So let's first get your stance right. Make sure you drop your shoulders, and now we're going to do long, straight, heavy bows, twice each note of the G scale, and lovely. And now let's play the G major arpeggio. Again, check your stance, check your shoulders, feel that heaviness of the bow in the string, and lovely, very well done. So we're down to our improvisation section today. And when we're going to improvise today, we're going to start on the key of G major. And we're going to do 1, 5, 1 again. So let me give you a moment to think. If G is 1, what would the dominant in the key of G major be? So what is the 5th note in the key of G major? Remember, your violin is tuned in 5th, so it would be the next string up, won't it? How easy is that? So the 5th note in the scale of G major is G, A, B, C, D. So our improvisation is going to be G major, D major, G major. We're sticking with our 3 parts for the whole of this week to make it easier. Okay, so G major, for its key signature, it has one sharp, which is the F sharp. D major has two sharps, an F sharp and a C sharp. So the C sharp is the extra sharp compared with the G major scale. G major's got one sharp, F sharp, and D major has got two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So the C sharp is my distinctly different note for my middle section. So I would say in your middle section, you must use the C sharp, because then we know and we feel that we're in a new key, that we've modulated, in other words, to the key of D major. Then in your third section, you must be back in the key of G major. So take the C sharp away and play deliberately a C natural to indicate that we haven't got that C sharp anymore. We're now back into one sharp only in the key of G major. So I'll give you an example, and we might try these keys like this. So I finished on a G. I've just used the F sharp. So this section was all in the key of G major. So now I'm going to go in the key of D major, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to use the C sharp. So that section was the key of D major, and now I'm going back to G major. So I'm not playing a C sharp. Whatever I do, I'm not going to play a C sharp. Have a go yourself and see if you can explore these changes a little bit. I'll give you lots of time. And if you need more time, just pause the video right now, and then you can explore the keys even more. Now, I'm wondering how that worked for you. Shall we add some performance directions now? Let's add louds and soft. So we're doing in principle the same thing, but I'm going to play loud, soft, loud. So now you see I was improvising without stopping, and I used a little interplay between C sharp and C natural to get me back to the key of G major. So have a go yourself and explore that option. Now, for those of you who like to be challenged a little bit, we're going to do some brain gym, because we're now also going to add some staccato and legato. So we're having our key change, and we're having our louds and softs, and also our staccato and legato. Now, the easiest way, of course, is to connect the staccato with either the loud or soft playing. Let's opt for the loud playing. So we're playing loud staccato, soft legato, loud staccato. Here we go. You have a go. Very well done. And you might notice that one day is a better day than another day, and that's okay, because even on your off days you might find out the things that don't work. So allow off days to happen as well, I would say, because you learn from them. Now we're going to continue this sort of brain gym a little bit more in our next couple of lessons, so do make sure you join us again in day 35. And for now, I'd say thank you so much for sticking with me right till the end of this video. I really appreciate it. If you also write in the comment section below this video how you got on with that. I very much look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.